Yo, today my two boys had their Minneapolis public school chess tournament. They both did great. One of them got a trophy. Super proud of them. Managed negativity incredibly well. No major meltdowns. A good day was had by all. It's also today's my birthday, so this is about the best birthday present a dad could have. And this is about the 8th tournament we've done. And like at first I thought it was gonna be like, I didn't know how to behave. Like, could you be like, yo, son, take that rook? But it's not like that at all. You can't really talk any trash. And so rather than stand in a room and watch a bunch of K through 12 kids play chess, I usually hang out in one of the classrooms. And back in my lawyering days, I used to do lawyer stuff. And today, I didn't really have much to do. Sometimes, since my lawyering days, sometimes I'll take this opportunity to do some creative writing. But today I was not really feeling particularly ambitious. And I spent most of the time talking with another chess parent. He was a dad. And this is a guy who was a trained economist, knew all about the stock market, and had profited to the stock market to his advantage, much like I had. And he was well aware that when you profit from the stock market, you're supporting and funding, when you're invested in the stock market rather, you're funding and supporting corporations that by law have a duty to put profit over people and the planet. And quite literally, they are trashing the earth. And so he's well aware of that. And what he was also aware of is when I let him know that I had run some calculations on AI, specifically ChatGPT, aiming to determine like how many people it would take to divest from the stock market to truly have a disruptive effect. And I've run various scenarios, and the one that I found most intriguing was that if like only about half of folk who had $100,000 or less in the stock market, so these are working class folk, it would have such a disruptive effect on the market as to, in all likelihood, collapse it and allowing space for something new and better and egalitarian. And this economist didn't dispute that. And I also shared with him that I had learned that, like, I knew the effect of the stock market on ICE. I knew the indirect effect, but I didn't know that many of these entities that are traded on the stock market are like directly in business with ICE, funding these ICE detention facilities, their drip, ammunition, you name it. So like if you're invested in the stock market, you are literally funding ICE. And this fellow Minneapolitan economist still agreed with me, but he was still very reluctant to divest from the stock market. And the main thrust of his argument seemed to be like, well, what's the point? Like, you know, if it's just me and no one else is doing it, you know, why should I? And even putting aside the aggregate effect if a plurality of us divest, just do it for yourself. So the way the universe works is that we fold into realities that are a vibrational match for the quality of our consciousness. So by divesting from the stock market, I've given myself at least a chance to fold into this sort of society that I've envisioned that is, if not moneyless, then at least it's egalitarian and fair. And money might be an element, but money isn't the primary driver of society like it is in this three-dimensional experience we're sharing. So by divesting, I give myself a chance to do that. Also, what goes around comes around. And if you are funding these entities that are raping rainforests and polluting our rivers and harvesting our mountains in eco-hostile ways, man, you get that spiritual stank on you. I'll tell you what, the day I divested from the stock market, I just felt lighter. I felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders, and I knew that I was giving myself the opportunity to fold into something different, better, and new. So, if you think things are going great now, then sure, stay invested. But if you're open to trying something new, what have you got to lose? Thank y'all for being open to being open. I hope y'all have a good one. Stay gold.